I am not misrepresenting the conversation that Mike and Greg Cody have. Mike has declared himself a minister of war. He is. I hate the term war around football and sports, and Mike is warring right now.
Sometimes it's appropriate.
He's warring right now with Texas governor. Ron DeSantis is stealing his shit. Ron DeSantis is stealing Mike's shit, and I'm convinced that everything Mario Cristobal does is with Mike Ryan's hand up his back. Because I'm getting some complaints.
Quite the visual.
I'm getting some complaints around here. Chris Cody is telling me, hey, Cristobal's going to come on, and I'm sure he's going to be doing like stand up at a local car wash, trying to.
Might come on.
He's going to be spend the next.
I wouldn't be so sure.
It's a reason why he may not.
Okay, well, what's the reason he may not be on?
It's you.
Yeah.
You fool.
Dan.
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
You're seen as anti-UM.
Yeah, people know your whole deal. Yeah. Anytime this program faces adversity, you try to work in a Billy Gill or Jeremy Taché
That's your deal.
to speak for an audience. When you're the Miami guy, you actually went to the school. You've been on the opposite side of the line, my friend. You are the enemy. You're not an ally.
Yep. Alumni hater.
I hate myself.
Yeah, you hate the fact that you went to UM.
Self-loathing alumni.
I'm the
Self-loathing, that's
alumni. Right. I'm an alumni hater.
Yeah.
You haven't been an ally. It's true.
Where are you getting that from? You think the audience would answer that way? You think the
it's out
audience?
there.
Where am I getting that from?
But
general.
I know where
my
you.
five-star general.
4
that just
stars.
won.
4 stars.
Hey,
4 stars.
Five.
How do you know?
Not helping, Dan.
Five.
Then what is Saban?
He's also 5. You can't go higher than 5.
Right.
That's
Everybody
why he's a
knows that.
4-star. He's a 4-star
4.5
general.
Okay, then give Saban 6. Wow. Saban says that we're the most dangerous team in the nation, so I'll give him a 6-star.
I'd say Texas Tech is that. Texas Tech is the only team I believe.
Why do they think I'm an enemy?
I love Dan.
Why do they think I'm an enemy?
I believe that Texas Tech is the only team in the country, the only one that could have Miami not play a close game. That it's a possible outcome if they were to play Texas Tech.
Yeah, I mean, you don't know ball. He doesn't know ball.
No.
And this is what I keep hearing from Coral Gables.
Yep, same.
He not a ball knower.
They're not
Not a
saying
ball knower.
specific names, but they're just like, if we're going to do this, we can't have any non-ball knowers around.
Texas Tech.
Texas
Texas Tech. Who lost to Sam Levitt on 1 foot, Texas Tech.
No, but they were playing with their backup quarterback. Go ahead and let Miami play with their backup quarterback.
Malachi Tony.
They're going to play with Malachi Tony as their
You're
backup
welcome. The
quarterback.
most dangerous weapon in the nation.
I'd actually
you got
like
it.
to see that. Actually, I'd let them in the playoffs if they told me right now that Malachi Tony, sight unseen, was going to be the quarterback. I'd let them into the playoffs just based on that alone.
Never mind that Carson Beck is like top 10 in passing rating, and he's like the second best quarterback that we've had here in 25 years.
I want to hear more, Chris, about your negotiations. I believe Mario Cristobal will be everywhere the next couple of days.
I got a request in.
I mean, he's going to be everywhere. He did his first interview with Mike Ryan on Kane's Insight.
No, with the money. I was in the shadows.
with your hand up his back.
No. But it was
That's the second time you said that, by the way. Stop saying that.
It was interesting to be like, hey, Kentucky took Texas to OT. They just lost 41-0 while you were out there on the field dominating. You should work that in.
I'm really glad we've called out all of the horrible bias that exists in the media because we're the, straight edge, truthful media over here.
Shut up. Like, hey, you're the most biased guy. Jack over here spewing. Like, I rewatched your clips. I'm now dumber for it. But every single one of your clips can be undone by something Miami has done on the field. You want to talk about metrics? You want to talk about transitive property? You want to talk about common opponents? Miami's got all the boxes checked, pal, including the ones and the criteria outlined by the CFP themselves. Miami shouldn't be debated as a playoff team. It's a matter of fact. This is a playoff team, and it might just be the best team in the nation.
You think I misrepresented your attitude when you were talking to Greg earlier before
If
this
that
show?
is not your stance this week, then you're not with me. You're against me.
How dare you look me in the face and say I am not a ball knower?
You don't know ball. You don't know ball. No. You're Texas Tech. Texas Tech. Ohio State, I can understand. Texas Tech, spot the ball in Lubbock. I triple dog dare you.
I will say I thought they meant Jeremy.
Texas Tech lost a game this season with their backup quarterback.
Well, they better win this weekend because we need that BYU loss.
They will win this weekend because they're a good deal better than BYU.
Oh, God. I'm worried. All right, yep.
Damn right.
Two
Well,
units on
BYU
money
deserves
line.
it anyway. I mean, let's be real. Dan's argument yesterday for Miami was like, oh, they're going to have 4 losses in 2 years. How dare they be excluded? It's the exact same thing for BYU, except they'll have 2 top 5 losses.
Again, super easy to undercut your argument. BYU lost their 1 game by more combined points, and Miami's lost their 4
Who'd they
games
lose to?
over the last 2 years.
They lost to Texas Tech.
That's right.
Yeah, Texas Tech.
A great team.
No, Texas Tech is a good team. They're a good team.
Meh.
We
That's
beat
meh.
them.
Boys for my dad.
They're not better than us. True or false? Miami's playing better football right now than when they were the number 2 team in the nation.
Yes. Correct.
Yeah, it's
When
not how
we
you
were
play the
ranked
game.
number 2,
but we're not biased.
We were not playing this well. That's not bias, pal. Those are facts. Those
Playing
are
better
facts.
than
If
they
you're not
were.
watching the game, here's what
Facts,
I know
Jack.
about you. You're not watching.
No, they're playing
You're not
better.
watching.
I mean, who's
I can
BYU
admit
beat?
they're playing better
Who's
than they were
BYU
when they lost to SMU with
who's
Louisville.
BYU beat?
Bull knower's talking to you.
Who's BYU beat?
Who's Ohio State beat?
Okay, but
Everybody.
still, the
Ooh,
defending
Dan, they should be
national
out. I'm with Dan. They
champion.
should be out.
Like it's fine. Ohio State being there, you could see they're awesome.
I think they have like one of the longest streaks by winning by 15 points or more. The national champs are good.
They're really good.
Agreed.
All right, so we all approve of Ohio State.
Yeah, they're
Yes.
all right.
Yeah.
I can't believe
we can move on.
I can't
it.
believe you don't all agree on Texas Tech. I
Texas
can't
Tech
believe
is,
that.
It's fine, but they wouldn't beat Miami, dude. Like this is what
Certainly not
No,
easily.
Look, no, I'm not saying they would beat them easily.
You
I'm
said
s-
that they
no,
would beat them by
listen,
more than one
no,
score.
Listen, what I said was Texas Tech is the only team in the country that I have seen that Miami might have a situation in which they would get blown out. There is no other team in the country.
Threw a
that-
mite in there.
I don't think that there is another team in the country that I would say that about, including Ohio State. They're going to play close games. Miami is not going to get blown out by anybody. The possibility, I do believe, exists with Texas Tech to get blown out. It doesn't mean that I actually think Texas Tech is better than them. I just think that in a game where 2 teams are even, Miami can also blow them out. But Texas Tech is the one team in the country I've seen where I'm like, oh, they can run up a score on people.
See, Dan brings up a really interesting point there because there was a lot of mites that he threw in there between what might happen if Miami and Texas Tech play. We happen to know what did happen when Miami played Notre Dame.
Hello.
There's a lot of mites there. Might do this, might do that.
Hello?
Miami, Notre Dame.
How you doing?
We know exactly what happens.
We
got
know
a
exactly
hello.
what happens when they play SMU and Louisville as well.
But they're not in the discussion.
California
For a
beat.
reason. They're
Yeah,
bad.
Louisville's-
Cal beat both of those teams.
Louisville's undefeated when they're healthy.
Oh, my God.
And SMU doesn't lose conference games at home. And if you watch that game, which you didn't, they got screwed by the refs. They got totally that game got totally undone by one of the worst officiating games that you'll ever see in your entire life. But Miami learned from that. Miami put themselves in that position by playing a tight game, and since then, they have totally revolutionized the way that they play their game. Players have totally come online. Pringle is a revelation. Pringle is an
Great.
absolute weapon.
Super.
We have unlocked Malachi Toney, and it is a factual statement. Miami is playing much better right now than when they were the number 2 team in the nation. That is a fact, Jack.
Let me put up on the screen some of the interactions that Mike Ryan is having as he
Mike had a wild day
he
yesterday.
gets carried away, and he's gone after Texas's governor, called him Wheels. Which
Wait. Let's not do it. Let's not take the air out of this. All right, here we go. This is where it starts.
Take the air out of it.
It's your move. It's your move.
one of your moves. It's getting
Again,
worse.
what side are you on?
Yeah. All right. So this is where it starts. And our great governor, Ron DeSantis, saw this tweet that I put out there. Yeah, our great governor,
First time
tremendous
I've ever
governor,
heard
Ron
that.
DeSantis.
Florida.
So
I had that first.
Dealing with the
state.
important issues.
Yeah. So I found the principles, the outline criteria on the CFP
Go on.
website. And it says, for those listening on audio, the committee will select the teams using a process that distinguishes among otherwise comparable teams by considering strength of schedule.
Number 1.
Head-to-head competition. By the way, if you're looking at strength of schedule, Miami is right there neck and neck with Notre Dame. All right? So we're not talking about a wide gulf here. They're separated by 1. Head-to-head competition is number 2, seemingly overlooked so far by the committee, even though it's written in their criteria. Comparative outcomes.
Does this
between-
matter like the order that they put it in?
I don't
Is that
know.
order of importance?
I don't know. But third
They're
on the
bullet
list.
points,
Third
not
on the
in
list
order.
is comparative outcomes among common opponents. Well, guess what? Miami had several common opponents with Notre Dame. 4 of them,
it's
to
4,
be
right?
exact,
Yeah.
including each other, where Miami won. 4 of them. Miami outscored all but 1 by more points than Notre Dame. So if you want to say, well, common opponents, Miami dominated that conversation as well. So I put out this criteria. If the CFP actually has the principles they outlined in their criteria, then Miami is in. If ... 1 hour later, our great governor, Ron DeSantis, kind of uses the template and goes with the same exact...
Not kind of uses the template, does use the exact. He stole
How
it
about
from
that?
you.
Rip off.
Stole it from you.
Yeah, well,
he
the
did not have this. He did not have this in his phone.
No. Will the CFP committee follow or ignore its own stated selection criteria? Great point by our tremendous governor, Ron DeSantis.
How about
Thank
that?
you, Mike.
Ron, the plagiarizer.
And so then Mike goes after
Well,
Greg Abbott, who
but-
does the same thing in Texas.
Yeah, Greg Abbott then realizes, oh, governors are doing this. Let me take the original Mike Ryan screen cap and let me Texas, ridiculous 3-loss ass. You went to overtime with Kentucky. These are CFP principles.
And Mississippi State, sneaky decent.
Texas is at the top of these criteria more than any team on the bubble. And then I had a response to that where I kind of also added one of the principles, which was merely beat the Florida Gators. I took the same exact tile and I put a bullet point. We can throw that up there because there was one regrettable thing that I did with my tweet, my response to Greg Abbott.
What happened?
I called them wheels, which you already know because Dan totally undercut it. Greg Abbott famously in a wheelchair.
He already knows it because you had hell of a day yesterday. This was all
Yeah.
something that
You
was
see here
on
how
the
I-
internet yesterday.
Why is that an insult? He's in a wheelchair.
You
Probably
see how I
wanna walk
added
that back.
Why is that an insult?
I did a little
He's in a
cheeky
wheelchair.
thing. I did a little cheeky thing here where in the principles I added in bold must beat the Florida Gators because we have a common opponent with Florida too. I don't know what the
Oh,
whole
yeah,
big
look,
deal
you
is.
added that. Look at that.
I mean, I'm 3-0 in my last 3 games against the vaunted SEC, so I don't know what the big talk is. I think the ACC's harder.
You apologized for this. You
Yeah, I had to put
apologized.
because I mean, people were a little upset.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
he's in a wheelchair. You can't be calling him wheels, and I understand that. That is my bad.
Right.
Attribute it to the fog of war, so I put out a written apology.
Yeah, you should at least have capitalized the word wheels if you were making that a nickname for him.
War could be stressful.
War is hell, Zaz.
That's what I heard.
And I put out this statement that is there for your perusal. If Dan, you'd like to read it. For
That's
the
official
audience.
Miami letterhead.
Well, the Miami Department of War is the letterhead. I don't believe that's official Miami letterhead.
it is.
Official to me.
Although
Yeah,
it
it is
says
official.
Office of Public Communications and
Yeah.
it reads official statement.
Right.
This is
Earlier-
from the school.
It's from
Early-
a golden cane.
This
so
is
it's
not
official.
from the school. This is from Mike Ryan. It's the official statement. Earlier today, in the heat of spirited sports debate, I referred to Greg Abbott as wheels in a miscalculated attempt at jocular banter. Upon reflection, this phrasing did not accurately convey my intended sentiment. I should have simply called him a bitch, as was my initial instinct. For this lapse in precision and clarity, I offer my sincere apology. The Miami Department of War remains committed to direct, effective, and unmistakable communication in all matters of conflict, athletic or otherwise. And I look up and I see Roy dressed as John Tesh as all of this is inappropriate. This is
Quite the statement because Mike doesn't like that word.
I don't. If you know anything about me,
bitch or war.
well, the B word.
We love the W word.
Yeah. I was built for this. I've been on the front lines for 4 weeks. You ever see any of those war movies where they find the isolated guy in a tower that's been there for a month and he's gone a little cuckoo? That's what I've been. While you guys, Johnny-come-latelys, but I'm so happy you guys found your balls now that we're 10-2. It's great to have you here on the front lines.
You
with me.
signed this respectfully? Respectfully?
I mean,
You have to.
How is wheels more offensive than bitch?
I don't like to use that word. I don't even like to hear it out loud, so can you not?
Well, it's in the official statement from the Department of War, though.
On the school letterhead.
It says, well, it's not school letterhead. It's
Yeah, it's an official
I-
statement.
Department of War
no,
letterhead.
The MDOW.
It's not. Look,
It's an OS.
just because you
official
say
statement.
something's official on the letter, put it on the poll at LeBatard Show. Is something officially official if it reads official on the letterhead?
Official
Because
to me.
I
Yes.
believe you all
What kind
are.
of question is that?
You are all saying that this is official, but I just see Department of War, which I don't think the University of Miami has one of those.
Well, neither
The
does
MDOW.
America.
The MDOW.
I don't believe any of that was respectful. I believe that I have an accurate appraisal of how I walked in here this morning, which is Mike Ryan screaming at Greg Cody and doing what are you saying no
I think he was
for?
screaming, "What are they consistently saying?"
That is what he was. Thank you. That is what the argument was. You said something has been consistently said, and what I walked in on was Mike Ryan screaming, "What have they been consistent about?"
Well, the chairman of the CFP selection committee.
Who has not himself been consistent because it was a different dude the first week that we did this.
He's been consistent in both directions, though. I'll give him that.
What?
Yes. The chairman of the committee
What?
at first was saying the eye test goes to Notre Dame. They've been better lately, blah, blah, blah. And lately he's been saying Miami is looking like the team we saw when they were 5-0. So he's acknowledging that the Canes have turned it on right when they should late in the season. So he's been inconsistent, but he's been consistent in both directions. I'll give him that.